At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Northwest Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 479-203-5880, or visit our website at directservicenwa.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
All right. Let's get this thing kicked off. Let's do this. Arkansas drops to Kentucky at home. Yeah. I don't know. Some of you probably not surprised. Let's do this. 3, 2, 1. Yo, oh, there's the light. There you are. Why are you over here? Hang on. Let's get him. There you go, buddy. Let you go where you belong. This is a call-in show. This light's going to fall over. I know it is. This is a call-in show. Let me get the link shared or pasted across here. Let's get you going here. If you guys want to call in, this is the show to do it. Now, update, Matt Landers, by the way. Let's start with something positive. Matt Landers goes to the NFL Combine and drops. I'm reading 4.39, then I'm reading 4.37. That's pretty outstanding for someone of his size to be in. He just got himself in the conversation of being drafted. So there you go. He did it. I said, if he's going to get drafted, you do it here. You do it at the NFL Combine. His film will show out a little bit, I'm sure, but the 4.39, 4.37 40 is outstanding. Good for him. Congratulations. We'll see. There's some other stuff you got to go through, right? But I think he just got himself back into the conversation of being drafted. All right. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Let me make sure you guys are hearing me. This is a little bit different setup. Okay. Yeah. You guys looking at your responses, you can hear me. Okay. Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company, offer same-day services, emergency service, quality parts, affordable outcomes, 100 to 5-star reviews, better than best results. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. Apex Tattoo Studio. Walk-ins are welcome. They're located at 201 South 19th Street in Rogers, Arkansas. Walk-ins are welcome, as I already mentioned. And then, tap-out sessions are available, by the way. You can get a 10% discount. All you got to do is mention your boy. Mention Tuss Talk with Ty or Ty Hudson. They'll give you 10% off your ink We know that these days any discount is huge. So shout out to Apex Tattoo Studio. Give them a call. Again, walk-ins are welcome. If you want to schedule an appointment, 479-278-2694 is the number to call. Odd Soul, located on Emma Street. Odd Soul Craft Bar and Pizzeria right here in Springdale. Conveniently located right smack dab in the middle of Emma Street. Craft, you name it. They have craft bar, pizzeria, great pies, calzones, you name it. A lot of good stuff on tap, local IPAs and everything. All right, let's get the link shared in chat for anyone that wants to call. Now, you guys know the rules. Keep it classy. There's the link. Let me make sure we're getting the link on Twitter here. So for anybody that wants to, now I have been having some sound issues on my end, so hopefully we're able to catch a break here. Okay, it's on Twitter. There we go. Okay, so if you guys want to call in, there's the link. Right? All you got to do is tap that bad boy. Let's share that in Discord. We don't do this is the first one I've done during basketball season. I told you guys wanted a call-in show. Here it is. Here's your opportunity. If nobody calls in, I'm going to, from now on, when you bitch and moan, I'm going to say, hey, you had your opportunity. Where were you? Could have gone on the show. Arky56 says, team is weak, no defense, terrible fouls, free throw shooting, and three-point shooting is non-existent. Yeah, I don't know that I disagree with all of that. That's Pops right there. That's Pops. That's my dad with that take. I don't know that I could disagree with it right now, Dad. By the way, you still owe me 17 subs. Just saying. 437 unofficial, according to Josh Garr on that Matt Landers 40. That's pretty awesome. We'll go over the numbers here in just a second. Shibwe, I'm going to start off by saying Shibwe absolutely should have been thrown out. There is no reason why Shibwe should have been in this game. He should have been thrown out. That was a flagrant 2. That was an elbow to the neck head area. He should have been tossed. And of course, we know that he was a pretty big piece to Kentucky on both ends of the floor. He altered shots. He had easy dunks. It was pretty easy for him. Now, look, I'm not saying that I'm fine with him being out there. I'm fine with that. Okay, I'm not saying that, oh, boo-hoo, he shouldn't have played. Arkansas would have won had he not played, whatever. I'm saying simply that, once again, it's just another piece to that puzzle that the SEC officiating is what it is. It was pretty bad. And I know that's going to be something brought up in chat. I know odds are pretty high. Someone's going to call in and complain about the officiating. And listen, I don't know that you want to die on either hill, that this was all officiating or that officiating had nothing to do with this game. You can't die on either one of those hills. The officiating absolutely played a pretty big role in this game, but it's what Arky56 just pointed out. It's what he just pointed out that I think is pretty accurate. Arkansas had, they were their own worst enemy in this game. Could not finish around the rim. All right, Judd, the pessimist. Here we go. All right, Judd, keep it classy.
Okay.
Hang on. Let me fix this. Will that work? Oh God, no. Where's it at? There we go.
You got it. Does that work? You good?
Yeah. I haven't done these in a while. All right, man. What do you got for me, Judd?
Okay. So, first of all, I'm not going to say the refs had a huge role. I mean, they set momentum for sure.
Right.
But I'm not going to say that they're the reason we lost. We're the reason we lost. We missed a lot of shots around the rim, made a lot of bad decisions. And, I mean, there were several times where Kentucky was just getting into the paint every single time. Mm-hmm. No one really stopping them.
Right.
And so that's what I think about that. What I want to ask you, just want to know what you think about it. Okay. Does this team deserve to make the tournament? Because from what I've seen the last 3 weeks, everyone talks about they're projected as an 8 seed or a 10 seed or wherever they're projected at. But do they really deserve that? Because I look at how they've done in conference play, and I don't see that. I don't see a team that should be, a 7, 8, 9 seed in the NCAA tournament. I see a team that should be a 1 or 2 in the NIT, but I don't see a team that should be, a NCAA tournament contender.
I think that's a somewhat difficult question to answer because it may not be as much about Arkansas deserving to be in the NCAA as much as it is some of these other conferences that were just so bad. You look at the PAC, they might send 3 teams.
Yeah.
Right. The ACC is not what the ACC should be, with Duke and North Carolina not where you think they would be. Right.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot more to do with what the other conferences are doing. If you wanted to ask me, just like, it's a difficult question because what we've seen since after Alabama, and some people would include Alabama, despite that being kind of a moral victory, going to Tuscaloosa and playing the way that they did. Since that game, Tennessee, they looked awful, and they looked the same today. They looked pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure a majority of people would agree that they don't belong, that they shouldn't be there. And again, I talk often about dying on hills. I'm not dying on any hill here. I'm not. I'm going to be a fence sitter here. I don't. And here's the other side of this. We have seen Musselman. I mean, granted, I think those teams were better. I do think the last 2 years they've been better, but we have seen him show people how wrong they are about his teams in March.
Yeah.
But this team is not the caliber of the last 2 teams. I just, maybe not even close, actually.
Oh, yeah. I mean, love or hate JD Notae, the guy had some balls, and he would take shots that guys on the team now, or I would say they're scared to take. And at times it had you scratching your head. Why would he shoot that shot? He got 2 guys on him shooting from 4 feet behind the 3-point line.
Right.
But I mean, the kid could score. He was averaging 19, 20 a game.
Right.
And we don't have a guy like that this year. And I think that's what separates the last 2 seasons from this one.
Yeah. It's frustrating. They don't have anybody. By the way, link is available for those of you in our Discord. I'll share it again just in case it got lost in chat. There's no one else after Judd at the moment, so I'm going to let Judd continue on here for just a little bit until we get some more people. If you guys want to call in, there you go. They don't have a JD Notae. They don't have a Jalen Williams who you could feel like the team could lean on in the final minutes, drawing charges, getting fouls, getting to the free throw line. They don't have a Chris Likes who could take over at the free throw line, regardless if he was starting or if he was coming off the bench and getting 12 minutes. He got you pretty high quality 12 minutes of play. I left my door open and my family's staring at me like, what is this? I usually close my door. But yeah, I think they don't have those pieces. They don't have and despite all their length and their size and their athleticism and their accolades, what is this team really? Now, the net ranking will tell you actually Arkansas is a pretty legit team. Mm-hmm. They're a top 20 net ranking team. This was a quad 1 victory for Kentucky. So, I mean, I don't know. It's if you buy into the net rankings, which I'm not 100% in on with the net, I don't know. I tend to be of the belief that the SEC underperforms in March. I mean, look at Arkansas, who's been the leading team in postseason. And no one else has really been able to compete out of the SEC in March. So maybe the net ranking's getting it wrong. I think there's an argument there that the net ranking is getting this wrong, but we'll find out in March. I don't think it's about quantity as much as it is about quality and how many quality teams of the SEC putting into the tournament. Arkansas is not one of them. They're just not. They're not one of them. But again, according to the net rankings, they are. They're one of the top 4. Mm. So I guess we'll find out.
Mm. And one last thing that I want to just kind of lay on y'all's minds.
Oh,
I just don't see a leader on this team. And it may just be because we have a young team. We only had one senior. But I mean, every year the team has had a leader on the court. Last year, I always kind of looked at Jalen Williams as just kind of that leader that kept everyone together. Kind of that we don't have that glue. We don't have the glue that keeps all the pieces together.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, I think it's almost too late to try to find that. And you're just going to have to make do with what you got.
Yeah. You got people agreeing with you in chat. Susie says, I agree. I am sad, but I don't think this team deserves an NCAA bid.
This is what I think.
It's a bad year. Finishing under 500 in SEC play. Haven't done that in a while. So it is what it is. Musselman's going to catch a lot of heat for having this much talent, despite not having Brazil, which, yes, that has an impact. Not having Nick Smith, yes, those things have an impact. But, I at the end of the day, he's had time with Nick Smith, and they're still putting a very inconsistent product on the floor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Without defense, Tony, you and I, we'll agree on that one, my man. We'll agree on that one. Without Devo, our defense is dog crap. They were already struggling with Devo on the floor. So without Devo, it was that much worse. With Sheboy doing what he was doing, and I still just cannot believe, like, who would have thought under those circumstances Devo would be the guy to get ejected, and yet Sheboy stayed on the floor after his antics, after what he did with that elbow above the neck. I still am just
that was terrible. It was terrible. I mean, you don't throw an elbow like that to a guy's head. He did it twice. He did it 2 times. He had 2 chances to get thrown out of the game for it, and at least we got like 1 on the second one. But
yeah. Steven, bad call. Let's see. We got someone with some hot takes in chat here. Well, people want me to do these call-ins, and there we go. We got another one. There's Brian Frazier, as expected. All right, Judd, I appreciate your take. Honestly, Judd, I know we get on you in Discord. I know we do. We know you're a little bit younger. We let you get away with quite a bit, but honestly, man, I do enjoy it when you call in on these shows. I do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, man.
You have a good one.
You too, Judd. All right, next up. This is what I don't like. When I end one call, I wish that bar would go away for a minute, and then when I pop in the next caller, I wish it would come back. I don't like how I have to manually. I'm not used to it. Brian Frazier, my friend, what's going on, man?
Oh man, just sitting here listening to Judd. Yeah, I agree with him on a whole lot of what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
But back to Sheboy with a whole 10-pack of fouls. They gave him a 10-pack, man.
Say that again. I can barely hear you. Say that again.
A whole 10-pack of fouls. They gave him a whole 10-pack. You only get 5.
Yeah.
He had a whole 10-pack, brother.
He was doing that with his fouls like a cigarette pack, huh?
But check it out. We're just sorry. We're just flat out sorry.
So you think they're bad? You think Arkansas is a bad team?
No, but we're playing sorry. We just playing like it just can't seem to get a good rhythm going. Then when you got Council taking that shot before the half and airballs it when all he had to do was pass it right back to Nick and let him shoot the 3.
What did I say just 2 weeks ago? Someone in chat was arguing with me about Ricky Council taking the last shot. He is not the guy to take the shot. And he did that last game too. The final 3 seconds on the shot clock, and he airballed the shot, a corner pocket 3. He's not the guy to take those last second shots. He's not. No. It's not him. I'd rather Devo. I'd rather Nick Smith. Anybody but Ricky Council. Maybe outside of Jordan Walsh.
But here go Devo. Why he out the game? Why is he gone? Why is Devo gone? I want to know. I want somebody to give me a good reason why after Sheboy elbowed and he out here grabbing mandibles. He grabbed the dude by the mandible and took him to the floor. But Devo is gone. I want something. Hey, bruh.
It felt like, okay, Muss does deserve a little criticism there. He should have reined Devo in. Devo that's not unheard of.
I agree with that. I agree.
On what he did. That's not unheard of that they'll tee you up for that. I kind of thought they'll let him get away with that because of the nonsense that Sheboy got away with. By the way, he also had a couple more fouls they didn't even call on the floor, but whatever.
I told you he had a 10-pack, Ty. He had a 10-pack.
Yeah.
I'm talking about he's a habitual mandible grabber, and he stayed in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, that's truth. And again, I thought they would give. I kind of thought like that's a little much. Devo's clearly frustrated. Man, can you see it? And this is for you and in the audience and anyone watching this after the fact. The players, coaches are always sick of officiating, but it's gotten so bad where every player on the floor is just fed up with the officiating on the floor. You could see it on the opponent's faces, and it's not like they may not even be involved in the play. They might be off in the perimeter somewhere, and there's some nonsensical foul call down low in the paint or around the iron or whatever. You can see even I think I see it. Clearly, Arkansas's fed up with it, and it's showing on the floor. You could see it on Anthony Black's face. You see it on Devo, and you saw Devo in this game doing this the whole way down the court. Like, what are you doing? And it's not to say they haven't done that before, but it's palpable at this point. It's gotten to the point where everyone on the floor, especially on the Razorback side of things, they're fed up with it.
Check it out. Check it out, though. If we're going to be honest about it, I want everybody to think about this. In football and in basketball, the officiating for Arkansas against Arkansas has been terrible. I mean, just downright bad. It's been costing us games. It changes momentum. And every year we keep getting slapped in the face. When is it going to stop? What did Jerry Jones do? Or Jimmy, what happened? Something happened. Something is going on. Why is Arkansas getting done like this? And I mean, I'm not exaggerating, Ty. You know it.
Yeah.
Just pay him, Jerry. Pay him. Whatever. Just pay him. We're tired.
I do think, and we've had this conversation before on this live show. I've talked about this before. Musselman has a reputation amongst the officials. We all know he does.
Yeah.
And I think they go in kind of pre-cocked, you know. I mean, they're kind of already, they've got they're ready to call these things, you know. They're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And a good example of that is Jordan Walsh. The guy could go for the ball, get all ball, and still get hit with a foul. I've seen that happen so many times this year. Very light contact where the other end of the floor, those guys are able to do that, but Arkansas's not. I don't want to make this all about officiating, though. We do have to talk. We do have to talk. Oh, we got a super chat here. What does Fishman say? In my opinion, for this game, I got no criticism for Muss after Shigwe didn't get ejected. So unfair, but Devo gets kicked out. I'm numb about this game. This was so unreal. Yeah, I appreciate the super chat, Fish. Thank you so much. We do have to look at some of these numbers, okay? The officials didn't shoot free throws for Arkansas. Arkansas did.
That is correct.
And it was
horrible.
Awful. Once again, they were awful. And this was at home shooting 64%. Let's look at these numbers. 35% shooting. Now, Kentucky had a lot to do with that. They were crowding lanes. You know, if they did spread out, they're playing really tight man defense. They switched the zone a little bit in the second half, but they forced Arkansas to take jump shots. Therefore, they go 25 of 70. 25 of 70, just under 36% shooting. They were 7 of 22. It's kind of ironic. They're actually shooting above 31% and still not great, but on 22 attempts for this team, it's like, okay, that's a win. But then you go 22 of 34. You can't say the officiating didn't help you out because they did. You took 34 shots. They got called for 26 fouls, Kentucky did. We can sit here and bitch and moan about Arkansas. Kentucky got hit, and some of those were nonsense calls on Kentucky. They were. I don't think anyone could debate some of those fouls on them were nonsense. They felt like maybe
after what I seen when they set the tone in the beginning of the game, with that elbow, good. If this would have been another game time, I would have agreed with you. But good. But like you said, we can't shoot free. I don't understand what we're doing in practice. We can't shoot free throws.
They're not. I don't know. I heard someone on the radio a little while back. I don't know if Muss does this or not, but one of the things this individual, I don't know if this was Ty Richardson or Chuck Barrett, but something that's considered common and for teams to improve on free throw shooting is to wait to practice on free throw shooting at the end of practice when they're exhausted, when they're so tired. And then, of course, everyone around them making noise, trying to create some kind of hostile environment to really up the tempo, to really make things hostile and to wear them out. Maybe Muss isn't doing that. Maybe he's trying to draw up better.
They get to do it on simulation to save energy.
Yeah. They need to figure it out. 22 of 34 at home ain't it. That ain't it. That's not it, man. That's not. You shouldn't settle for that at all. I would still, if they shot 70%, I would say it's an improvement, but that's still not where you want to be at off 34 attempts. You really need to be north of about 73, 74% at home. And you're 64%. Pretty good bench production. I mean, Ricky Council with 16, Walsh with 10, Graham and Kamani. Kamani may not have done much in the stat category. He had a steal. He had 3 rebounds, 2 points, but Kamani provided a bit of a spark for Arkansas off the bench. Him and I felt like Walsh both provided a spark. Walsh with 10 points.
Yeah, but Walsh, for some reason, it seemed like on some of his shots, he's just wild with it. It's like no setting yourself up, like you went underneath the goal so you can extend out. And dude just clobbered you up, man. I don't understand the time. I said it the other day. I said it. If Arkansas loses this game at home, which they did, I have no faith in them going forward in March, even though Muss has in the past put together teams who have went the distance, back-to-back Elite Eights.
Yeah.
With this team, I mean, do they have the talent to do it? Absolutely. But do they have the heart and the will? And so far, when it comes down to the nitty-gritty, these boys just don't got it. And I understand a lot of them are freshmen. I get that. But this is the time that when you got to dig deep, man. We in March.
Well, they just don't have it. I'm with you. If I was having a conversation, actually, it's funny. I was talking to Blake Lovell, who I had on the show on a Patreon supporter live show that I did. It's available to the public. If you guys want to go back and watch it, I was talking to him in the DMs today, and now I feel like a heel. I said, they're without Wheeler, and they're already they're without Wheeler and their starting point guard, their only point guard on their roster. Arkansas should be favored by double digits. What am I missing? Look what happened.
How many points did that boy jack up on us?
Which one?
Reeves.
Reeves ended up with 37 points.
This man over here having an NBA season on our home floor.
Yeah. 11 for 11 at the free throw line, man. Unfazed by Bud Walton. 12 of 17 from the floor. 2 of 4 outside. He shot 50%. I mean, he didn't miss. He played every minute. They did not rest him. They couldn't slow him down. And then he lost.
We're sorry, man.
And that compounded the issue.
It's bad.
We're
sorry.
At this point, and something I told someone else too in my DMs, I said if they make it past the first round of the NCAA tournament, Hog fans are going to have to chalk that up as a dub and just be happy with, whatever the results are at that point. Like if you get beyond the first round, that's I think that's the ceiling you can home for. I mean,
that's the ceiling. That's the ceiling. I'm with you, but I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna kick back, man. But somebody said, and they got some good comments in there, man. They got some good comments. I was kind of chatting back and arguing with a couple of them, but I won't let y'all know y'all was correct. But some of them numbers, anyway. I'm gonna holler back.
Hey, I appreciate you, Brian. All right, oh, see, there it is. There it is. Which side am I on here? Whoop. All right, let's get this off the screen. Get off my screen. Get off my screen. If you guys want to call in, you can. Shout out to Patreon supporters. I know everyone's kind of fed up with this. This season was it is what it is, man. I mean, it's so frustrating. You don't know what you're getting out of this team. It speaks to the youth. It speaks to maybe there is something going on in the locker room. You guys talked about that in the last live. Charles Harper, let me see. What are you reading here? What are you typing? Last game I mentioned, our worst shooter is taking the last shot. This team seriously is offensively challenged. I think that's actually a really good take. I mentioned why our worst shooter is I said, and I don't remember who was arguing with me in chat about this. Someone was sticking up for RC or said that I think their argument was that he should be the guy taking the last shot, whatever. No. Ricky Council's not the guy to take the last shot. He's not proven that all year. In fact, when he's given the ball, when the shot clock or the game clock, whatever, if it's counting down, he's not going to make it. I'm pretty sure he's 0 for in that category. Pretty sure he's 0 for. I don't know if he has many attempts, maybe 4 or 5 at the most. I think he's 0 for. He may have gotten 1 a long time ago, but I'll say recently or in SEC play, Council ain't it, my man. Council ain't it. Let's get that. There we go. Make sure our sponsors are well represented. Yeah, I'm happy they're in the tournament. I'm happy they have the net ranking, which is bailing you out. Net rankings are the only reason. The eye test tells you this is not a tournament team. It's difficult to answer. That's a difficult question to answer. Do they deserve to be in? Well, they're in. I mean, at the end of the day, they're in. I mean, you can make of that what you want. I know vast majority of you are going to say they don't belong. And again, I'm not dying on either hill. I'm going to ride the fence on that one. They're in. It is what it is. It probably speaks more to the rest of the supposed Power 5 conferences and how poor some of them have been outside the Big 10 and the Big 12. Speaks more to them, right? Maybe it's about them not deserving to be in as much as it is Arkansas. Again, link is provided. We've had 2 callers. Let me get this out there again. All caps, my guys. Call in. Link. There you go. So if you guys, assuming that link is working, let me know if it's not working. Anthony Black is a set shooter, yet can't make free throws. He's not really proven to be that great of a shooter. Even with his heels and his toes on the ground, he's not proven to be that effective as a shooter. He's been more effective just cutting and getting to the or off the dribble, getting to the scoring around the rim. They couldn't finish at the rim. Couldn't finish, and Sheboy shouldn't have played. He shouldn't. I mean, Kentucky is very fortunate that he was allowed to stay on the floor, and he ended up with 12 points. He didn't have a massive impact from a scoring standpoint. He did eventually foul out, but he did have a steal, no blocks for Sheboy, by the way. A steal, a block, 13 rebounds. He alone had 4 offensive rebounds. And here's what's wild. Arkansas had 17 offensive rebounds to Kentucky's 10. Kentucky out-rebounds you +6, 41-35. Scroll down these stats here. Bench points, Arkansas with 30. A lot of production, man. If you're getting 20, 30 points from your bench, that's pretty good. 30 points, just 15 for Kentucky. 13 fast break points. Kentucky out-blocks you as a team, 4-3. They had 5 steals to your 9. Arkansas and Kentucky both with 14 points. Arkansas with 15 points off turnovers to Kentucky 7. Second chance points, and here's where another area where they really hurt you. 17 to your 9 on the second chance points. Hey Ty, would you rather have a first round exit of the NCAA or a deep run of the NIT? Man, I don't know. I mean, for me, I'd rather a deep run of the NIT because I could have more live shows. I mean, you always pick tournament, right? You always pick the NCAA tournament. It's nice to add that to your resume. It's nice to say, well, at least we made it despite finishing under 500. You know, I mean, I know you're not a big fan of the SEC tournament, but would you rather the 10 seed and play a 7 with A&M or the 8-9 versus Bama? Right now, I'd rather play Bama on a neutral floor. I'd rather play Bama on a neutral floor, not A&M. A&M's pretty salty. Speaking of, let's go to these scores in the SEC really quick. Of course, you had we just mentioned A&M. They won their game over Bama. Now that was at home, but they won 67-61. Auburn on top of Tennessee. People were starting to count them out of the tournament not that long ago. 79-70. South Carolina over Georgia, 61-55. Vanderbilt, Mississippi State's coming up. I mean, that'll be a good game. Then you have LSU, Florida. Oof. Missouri's tied with Ole Miss at home. They're tied with Ole Miss, 69 apiece. And of course, Arkansas loses to Kentucky at home, 88-79. Yeah, you lost to a no point guard having Kentucky team. And they're missing Wheeler, who's missed an extended period of time. At this point, again, if you get past the SEC or the NCAA round in the first round, if you get past it, everything else should just feel like icing on the cake at this point. It's not a very good cake. It's one of those tiny, I don't know, think of your least favorite cake. That's what it is. But that's probably what it feels like it'll end up being. On the flip side to that, to the more optimistic people, and there is an argument to be made, Muss has proven a lot of people wrong in the NCAA tournament. Do you want to be in that category of people doubting him and then him going on some kind of run and his team's figuring it out? But I'm going to say this team doesn't look anything like what he's had on the floor for the last 2 years. It's not reflective at all of these last two teams. They're not as good as the last two teams. You hope they can go on a little bit of a run in the SEC tournament. Maybe they have a couple more opportunities, at the very least, one more opportunity to try and figure something out, mess around with the rotation, mess around with your starting five. But at this point, again, it just feels like too little, too late. You know, you're out of time. This is it. You're going to have one game at least in the SEC tournament. It's why you want to win more. Who gives a shit if you win these games? Because at the end of the day, I don't know what kind of an effect they're going to have. Maybe they'll help, maybe not. I guess it depends on who you match up with. But at this point, if Arkansas beat anybody in the first round of the SEC tournament, it would feel like a miracle. And that's weird to say because it felt like they turned the corner. Even after that Bama loss, it felt like they'd turned the corner, and here we are. We're not even sure if they can get past the first round of whatever their matchup looks like in the SEC tournament. God only knows what they're going to do in the NCAA tournament. People keep saying they think there's a locker room issue. I don't think so. We're just losing is what it is. Well, we watched Ricky Council's postgame in Discord yesterday, Fish. It would definitely leave me to believe that there might be something going on behind closed doors that we're unaware of. It might have just been him unhappy. That was a postgame interview after all, after a loss. Could have just been emotions talking at that point, but I don't know. So I think we are a one and done team this year, sadly, says Hero Blake. Yeah. I want to know where the leaders are on the floor. I want to know where they're at. Devo had a moment today. We've seen Devo act that way before, but it's been a while. You know, and you don't blame him. I'm not blaming the young man. I mean, that was frustrating. It was. And I don't know what I would do if I were in his shoes. I mean, maybe I would have been worse. I don't know. Devo has at times proven to be the guy with an even keel kind of take on the floor, at times getting a little animated, but who doesn't, right? I do feel like the players on the floor they're just fed up with these officials. You can see it. It's seething. I mean, it is. I don't know how anyone's not seeing that. Listen, and you could say, well, no one's happy with the foul on the call. Watch everyone on the floor, all five players. And if they show the bench, the Arkansas bench, it's gotten even more animated. It's gotten even worse, man. And again, I'm not making this. We had someone lecture people in Discord about, well, you can't blame officiating. Again, no one's putting this on officiating. They're just another, and we say this after every loss and even wins, it's another hill to climb. And unfortunately for the SEC, it's a larger hill than most. Someone said in Discord again, another thing that was said, it's this bad all across college basketball. No, it didn't. No, it's not. Talk to guys who watch the entire landscape of college basketball. They'll tell you opposite. Nope, it is bad in the SEC. There might be some other conferences, you know, when you talk about fouls per game, that might be close to the SEC. Hell, there might be a conference that's ahead of the SEC. But at times, it's not just about the amount. It's about when some of these things happen. It's about Sheboy not getting ejected in this game. And there have been some similar calls like that. Unfortunately, this is not a rare thing to happen in this conference. It's not just about the amount. Sometimes it's about just mamby-pamby ticky-tacky bullshit calls that, 90% of the time are not called evenly on the floor. And then sometimes you just get home cooking. Tonight, both teams were even. That's why you can't put this on officiating outside of, again, them missing on the Sheboy foul. Both teams ended up with 26 fouls. 26 fouls for each. That's just too many. And now I know several of those at the end came when Arkansas was, trying to get Kentucky to the free throw line. But no, it's not even. I don't remember who said that in Discord. It's not even across college basketball. Is it an issue more so than it is in the NBA? Probably. Yeah. I mean, I don't watch. Like I said, I only really watch the Celtics when they're on TV. I don't watch a lot of NBA basketball. It's kind of hard to sometimes. But I watch as much college basketball as I can. I do watch out. I watch Big 12 basketball from time to time. I'll catch Texas just to see, just kind of measure them up, see how they're doing without Beard. I'll watch, there's a couple other teams outside this conference that I will watch. I'll watch them in the Big 12. I'll watch when Big 10's on. I'll kind of catch a game from time to time, and I will definitely watch SEC games when they're on. I'm not always talking about them in Discord. I watched that Alabama A&M game today. I watched about 80% of that game. And, it was kind of a crazy ending. Actually, it was a really good game. It was a really good basketball game. Alabama was down double digits. It looked like A&M was going to run off with it. And then they come back. Bama comes back and ties it. But, of course, A&M ends up finding a way to win. I didn't get to watch the final minutes of that game. But, no, it's not even. It is. I think the SEC, it is worse. And I think fouls per game, you could also look at how long these games go for compared to the rest of the country. I'm curious what that looks like. It is a problem. But today is about so much more than officials. It's about, once again, this team just showing a real lack of maturity, not making free throws, poor shooting. You just and when they trail in these games, I don't know, when they trail by 8 points in the final 5 minutes of a game, how many of those games have they won? When Arkansas trails, if they trail 70% or 60%, 50% of a game, it feels less and less and less likely they're going to win. And it all comes back from, it all goes back to their offense. I mean, today alone, some notes that I wrote, and they mentioned this on the broadcast. I didn't realize it was this much. Anthony Black, he draws 5 fouls per game. It's pretty good. Hogs at one point in the second half missed 7 straight shots on 7 straight possessions and nearly 6.5 minutes scoreless in the second half. I mean, you're not far away from half of a half of next to zero offensive production. This team is so offensively challenged, it's just not even funny. It's amazing to me that they've broken 80 points in conference play. I guess inconsistent is the better word, but more times than not, they're just they're challenged on the offensive end of the floor. Nick Smith was gigantic for them. I mean, Nick Smith was big for them. 25 points, 6 assists, 3 rebounds, 4 steals, and a block, 3 turnovers. He played the role today, man. I mean, he did a really good job. Like I said, I was impressed with Walsh and Kamani. Kamani kind of provided a spark off the bench. It was good to see. Hey, Ty, I'm new to the channel. Wish I could have seen more of Graham. Let's put this up on the screen here. I wish I could have seen more of Graham. Don't know if the locker room plays into this. I think I don't know. I'm getting the vibe there's something going on. I'm not trying to make a mountain out of a mountain out of a molehill. I'm not trying to do that, but man, it is strange to me that this team seems so discombobulated on the floor. The complaint about Scotty Thurman was that he couldn't create his own shot. How'd that turn out? I don't know. You guys must be arguing amongst yourselves. Gary, who are you talking about? Who are you talking to? Paul, do we hit 20 wins this season? That's a good question. I don't know. How many times a game is Walsh wide open and still never looks to shoot, says Kopetsky. Yeah, I don't know that that's actually a bad question. Because he does. He passes up open looks. He really does. Let's get a score update on the baseball game, and then I'll cut you guys free here. 9-1 right now for Arkansas. They've got the lead. Bottom of the third. Wow. We got another run rule coming up here. Let's see. When Graham was playing, he was getting dominated. Now, we know defensively he is challenged. At times we've seen Graham tear it up and turn it around and play better, but on defense. But did y'all see Sheboy or Graham against Sheboy? 3 straight possessions where Sheboy got free layups. Yeah, no, like I've said, his defense is atrocious. I do think from an offensive standpoint, he can be a guy that can go right straight into the teeth of that tight, underneath the rim defense, whether it's zone or man when they're crowding. We have seen Graham go down there and get points. But yeah, Sheboy had his way with Graham. Yeah, absolutely. Let's love those Diamond Hogs. Yeah, they're tearing it up right now, looking really good. They are a fragile team. A lack of maturity shows up with this team a lot. Musselman and his staff have got to rein these guys in. This thing got a little ridiculous. It got a little bit ridiculous. I mean, it got chippy. Arkansas and Kentucky's a natural rivalry. It's a natural rivalry. That's what it is. It is at its heart. These two teams don't like each other. Cal's been ejected before out of Bud Walton. It got a little dicey. I'm going to make sure and catch his post game. He's always pretty kind to Arkansas. I mean, he'll say it, but they had their own issues tonight, but not really. I mean, they just Walsh was 1 from 5 today at the 3. Yeah, I think his shot. Offensively, he struggled all the way around. So I'm going to get the code out one more time if anyone wants to call in. You guys want to call in if you just joined? There it is. Ty, thank you. My wife was celebrating the fact that you acknowledged her post. Well, tip of the cap, right? Our bigs this year are not what I was hoping for. Seems like maybe a couple of egos are hindering the chemistry. So Steven 1383. Yeah. Who's your wife, Gary? Is she in this chat? Oh, I guess it's Lena Davis then, isn't it? Is that Lena? Is that your wife? Well, there you go. Thank you for being here, Lena. I appreciate you being here. Make sure, I think you said you're new to the channel. Make sure you subscribe, share the content. Huh? Make sure you share. Sharing is caring. This summer, hot blockbuster. Razorback basketball. What's going on? Geez. You see Anthony Richardson come on. Yeah, I heard he was ridiculous. Made some money. Yeah, how about Landers, man? Dropping a 4.37 40. My goodness. Must seem so embarrassed after a loss in his interviews. Can't say I blame him. Well, he looks pissed. I wonder what he thinks about Sheboy not getting ejected. He can't answer it. He can't talk about it, right? Had to work. Wasn't able to watch. What happened? Well, Tercer, let me tell you. Go back, watch the highlights. Go watch Sheboy straight up elbow a guy right in his back of his head, and no call. Well, I mean, there was a call, but not the right call. Oh man, yeah. Disappointing end. Let's hope Arkansas can get something put together. Let's hope that maybe they find the right. Maybe they get their chemistry down. I don't know. I mean, at this point, this is the least hyped I think I've ever felt about Arkansas making the tournament. Going back to Mike Anderson, maybe even going back to Stan Heath. I don't expect them to go beyond the first round. But here's the thing. It wouldn't shock me if they go into the SEC tournament and they tear it up. And they all of a sudden we get, oh my God, they figured it out in the SEC tournament. Now what? You just don't know. It's been a crazy year. You don't know. So I'm not dying on any hills today. It does feel like to me they're going to be lucky to get past the first round. It does. But good news is you've got neutral floor matchups. Now, you couldn't beat Kentucky at home, but you could beat them on the road. But I don't know. Just wacky kind of year. Don't forget, he was mandible grabbing. Hashtag mandible grabbing. There it is. Brian Fraser, our very own Brian Fraser with it. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're welcome. That is a first. That is a first. Oh, man. All right, man. I'm glad I could help, Gary. Woo! All right. Y'all are wild. Y'all are wild. Let me tell you. Kate says exactly, Ty. Exactly, Ty. That's what I was talking about. Must ability to improve this time at the end of the year of this year. He's always scheming. We know, and Kate, you're right. I'm sorry, I can't get that one. Can't shake that one. That was I've. I think I might actually blush a little bit, and that doesn't happen often. Ask my wife. He has. He's a schemer. He's got basketball in his mind 24/7, and in that aspect, he reminds me a lot of Bobby Petrino. I think he goes to bed. He probably falls to sleep just dreaming up and thinking of matchups, and we know he's going to watch a lot of film. He's going to do his homework. It's just a matter of it's one thing when you can draw things up on the chalkboard, right? It's another thing entirely to actually execute on the floor. And I don't know. We could talk about getting out coached. I'm seeing that one. That's almost trending for Arkansas fans on Twitter. Maybe that's the case. Maybe it's lack of execution on the floor. I'm not gonna say it's lack of hustle. These guys hustle, man. I mean, they don't give up on plays. They'll sacrifice their bodies. It's just weird that we can't. It's just been a bizarre year, and it's. I can't believe the kind of talent they have on the floor. And listen, you can have all the talent you want in the world, right? You can have all the talent in the world, and if they're not finding chemistry, if maybe there's not buy-in to what Muss is trying to get these guys to do, I don't know. But when you don't have those things, you're going to lose basketball games. All right, I do appreciate each and every one of you. Can't top Gary. Yeah, that was crazy. Ty out here doing God's work for the people. Glad I could help in any way. I'm glad that we have more. We're getting more women in these post game shows and the live chats. We don't ever. I look at my analytics and like 1% of my audience are women. 1%. I mean, ladies, come on. And the women that are in here, get your husbands in here. Hey, that Ty guy, he can help our marriage out. I'm just saying. All right. A lot of fun. I mean, despite what happened, right? Arkansas baseball kicking some ass today. It looks like we'll knock on wood. Hopefully they can keep that going. Would love another run rule. Love to do it in all 3 games. Arkansas baseball looking pretty good. I don't know with Tigert, who's expected to miss like 4 weeks? Well, that bullpen, they're already struggling, and you're without a potential ace. Now you're without your best closer. Oh, I don't know. Buckle up. Pitching is you're in for a wild ride with Arkansas's pitching. Hitting has been pretty on point lately. We'll see if they can keep that going. Don't get in trouble, Ty. Well, you mean with my wife? What do you mean, Brian? I think I'm good. Don't forget, Matt Jones still holds the fastest 40 by a quarterback at the combine at 4.38. Yeah, he does. 6 foot. What was he at the combine? Was it 6'6" or 6'5"? 242. Dropped that 4.37. That was crazy. I stand by that. He's a freak of nature. Oh, with my wife. No, I'm good. She's got her headphones in. She's dealing with her plants right now. We've got our whole backyard's like a jungle. You should see it. There's a trampoline, and then we've got the little jungle gym. We have our outdoor shed, and then the rest of the backyard is just like a giant, and she's got some awesome stuff. We use it. We pick out of our garden and we eat it. It's good to do that these days with the prices with inflation and whatnot. I might be eating a PB&J tonight. I don't know what we're doing for dinner, but now you're getting me hungry, Brian. You're getting me hungry. Okay, Monday show. We'll be back. We'll recap what we saw this weekend. We'll talk a little baseball. We'll get caught up. Football. I'm going to try and get Otis Kirk on. I've got another surprise guest I'm trying to line up. He's actually not sports. He is sports related, but he's not. He's something to do with the university. Wait a minute. Someone just hopped in here. We have someone hopping in here right as I'm exiting out. Let me get you in here really quick. Who is this? Fink? What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm way out in the country. Out in the holler.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hillbilly holler.
Oh, all right. Nothing wrong with
that. The team's just too young. He can't pull the string like he did the last couple of years. He used to always send them in the second half, had some muscle going in.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys are just too young. They may be 5 stars, but he needs some older guys.
Yeah.
I love Devo. Devo and Kamani, they just go charge. He needs a couple more of those, and they'd be on top.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong. Did you think he should have been ejected there at the end or getting those double fouls?
I loved it.
Oh.
If he had 2 more players like that, in the past he had a couple of guys he could send in there. Nolan had a couple of mean guys he'd send in, a couple of tackles.
Oh, okay.
Some end rushers. And Musk just doesn't have that this year.
Well, no, you're right. They are lacking.
Man, I'm way out in the country. We're breaking up real bad.
Uh-oh. Okay. Well, I appreciate your call. Thank you so much, Fink.
Love you, brother. You have a great show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Oh, see what I'm talking about? Why? Get off my screen. Get off my screen, that red bar. I appreciate all the call-ins. I'm glad we had a few, or we had 3 call-ins. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I think he's right. I love Devo too. I don't think he heard what I said, but asking about Devo fouling out, but clearly he's out in the country. He's out in the boons. He didn't get the greatest reception there. Hey, contact Elon Musk. Maybe he'll hook you up with the Starlink, Fink. Hey, you never know, man. Actually, one of my friends is on Starlink. He lives in Northeast Arkansas. Lives over in Piggott. He's got Starlink somehow. I didn't know, unless he's lying to me. I don't know. All right, we will. I'll talk to you guys on Monday. Have a good rest of your weekend. Enjoy some Razorback baseball. Woo pig.